Hello everyone, this is Shaitan bringing you game number 2 from MLG Orlando, first round of the championship losers bracket between Gosu, ViBE, and Millennium Stephano. Stephano is actually up 1-0 in the best of 3 series. The winner of this series will go on to face Drewby in losers bracket round 2. Meanwhile, we have a ZvZ here on Metalopolis with ViBE spawning in north position and Stephano spawning as the blueser, cross map in the south position. Now, without the scouting information that they would receive if they were in close air positions, this matchup can develop in any one of a number of ways. You can see people sort of predicting that because of the cross map positions, their opponent is going to go for some type of an early expansion, and them opening up with a 10 pool, some type of early pool to hopefully shut down the base and potentially win the game. But it looks like both of the Zerg players have actually begun their first Overlord, meaning that any type of early pool shenanigans are not going to be happening here. They're both going to be droning up. We'll see if they decide to open with a pool first, gas first, or a hatch first. With pool first, you're really pointing towards some type of roach opening with a pool before gas. Gas before pool generally points to slings and blings, whereas a hatch first can be anything based on how they decide to develop their infrastructure afterwards. Meanwhile, we see that both players are up to 15 supply. Stephano is actually trying to block the hatchery going down for ViBE. He's going to be able to do so actually for a little while, even with 2 drones here. Meanwhile, Stephano is going to be able to take his own hatchery if he gets around to it. He has the supply for it, he just hasn't dropped it down. He's been so busy with microing. So actually all of this wasn't really all that useful. The only thing that he was able to gain was the ability to sort of cause lost mining time for this drone, but at the same time he was scouting, so he lost the same mining time, and the hatcheries went up at about the same time. There's really no difference here. Again, we have the same amount of information. Stephano knows that the hatch spawning pool just went down, so he's able to drone up if he had wanted to and get maybe one more drone and then drop the spawning pool, but instead they both opt to get the spawning pools at about the same time, the gases at about the same time. Stephano getting it just a tiny smidgen of time faster. But this matchup is looking to develop almost the same way as the last one was. We'll see if they both decide to open up with Banelings again. It's the safest opening, just in case your opponent decides to push with some type of sort of 2-base fat heavy lane pressure. You need those Banelings to be able to stop the aggression cost efficiently and not fall too far behind in droning up. Meanwhile, both players are even at 17 drones each. They're just continuing to make drones. Their spawning pools are about to finish, so we'll see where they decide to go from here. Interesting to note is that ViBE seems to be having a very rough time in ZvZ. His overall record in the matchup is just 37%. Meanwhile, Stephano, although ZvZ I believe is his self-proclaimed worst matchup, he still boasts a 67% win rate in the matchup, coming off of a strong performance in IPL3 where he took out FXO Lucky, I believe, in the final, in a ZvZ final to win significant amount of money. No deviations here you've seen yet. Neither player has really started up their Baneling nest yet, but before their speed, but they're both rapidly approaching the gas level where they would be throwing down the Baneling nest if they were going. So they've both started speed at the similar times, with the first deviation being seen with ViBE getting a spine crawler at the natural and also getting a Baneling. Now the thing is on Metalopolis, the natural is very wide, so Stephano can actually just bypass the spine crawler and go sort of around the long way and maybe shut down a couple of these patches because the spine crawler won't be able to defend this area. Stephano, however, is also getting his own Baneling nest. It's just it's about 10 seconds slower. We do have a tiny push here. We'll see. He does actually, ViBE is able to kill 1 drone of Stephano, and that's putting him up 2 drones, which is, it seems really, really minor, but in ZvZ, when the nature of inject means that your units come out sort of in waves, the ability to be ahead a couple of drones is going to give you a massive economic edge. Here we see that ViBE is actually probably going to lose an Overlord to Stephano's Queen. This is actually going to be a pretty big deal because it's going to supply block him briefly. He hasn't even started another Overlord, which means that he's going to be behind in the ability to produce Zerglings. We can see that Stephano actually has 26 Zerglings to the just 1 of ViBE, but ViBE is building Banelings. We'll see if they finish in time. If Stephano were to go now, he would be able to just run in and do significant damage, but he's waiting for his own Banelings, so it's all just going to come down to the micro. ViBE has begun constructing his next Overlord. We'll see. He needs to pull away right now. The Banelings are doing their dance of death, trying to force away the Zerglings. Oh, never mind. ViBE is actually taking out this supply depot while he's pulling out. He's trying to sneak in the Baneling. The Banelings are just being taken out by the Spinecrawler. Only one is getting in right now, and that's not going to be enough to do damage to these drones. Look, it's not going to kill any of them. It's going to put them very low, which means that any sort of Zergling run by could do terrible damage, but as long as you position some Banelings right here, it's going to be enough to shut down any type of aggression. Here, go in a couple. He's going to be able to take out a couple drones. 2, 3, 4, 5 go down. Oh, he's actually doing a significant amount of damage, targeting those drones that were on low health from the Baneling damage. Stephano was actually taking out 6 drones, and he's ahead right now by 7, so that's going to give him a significant advantage going into the med game. The only thing that ViBE has going for him is he does have down the Roach Warren, whereas Stephano does not. Stephano has begun to take to add an Evo Chamber. He's actually going to take a very, very quick third for ZvZ. I guess he's counting on the fact that he's going to be able to hold off any sort of Zergling aggression with those Banelings, but we'll see if Stephano does decide to do some sort of pressure with the Roach Warren. He's going to be able to probably deny the third. ViBE is also going to be getting the quicker lair than Stephano is. Stephano opting instead in favor of expanding his economy even more with the quicker third base. You can see here Stephano's checking to make sure the third hasn't been taken by ViBE, and ViBE is actually going to scout the third base. We'll see what sort of response he takes. Both of them are getting +1. Stephano beginning his lair as well, and his Roach Warren, so we'll see. It looks like ViBE is actually just going to try and continue on in the macro game. He's trying to take his third. He's sending some Banelings over here, but he's going to lose a lot of them needlessly. He needed to sacrifice a couple of them, but 2 Banelings for 2 Zerglings is not that good of a deal. He's dropped down his third as well. It looks like he's going to try and match Stephano in the economic game rather than go for any type of pressure, but Stephano is going to be ahead in upgrades because he's getting +1 Carapace as well, with ViBE only getting +1 melee. He does need to take out the Zergling before it single-handedly takes out this hatchery, but I guess that's not that big of a deal. We do have an Infestation Pit going down for ViBE again. It looks like he really likes his early Infestors, but you can see here that he's actually let his energy on his Queen kind of build up a little. He's doing a bit of a counterattack here, trying to take out the third. We'll see if he can force the cancel. He might have to, which is going to be a pretty big deal, and he has to force the cancel. He doesn't lose the drone. The Baneling just looks like it died to nothing. He has to re-expand now. So his third hatchery is actually significantly behind Stephano's, who has his third hatchery up already. Stephano's also up about 20 supply, which is a pretty big deal in Zerg versus Zerg. He's only 6 of that is coming from the drone deficit, which means that he just has a significantly larger... Where is that advantage coming from? Because Stephano doesn't really look like he has anything. Oh, the 12 Roaches that just popped out are going to be what's giving him the advantage. Even though he got the later Roach Warren, he got the faster army, which is going to give him the advantage going into any sort of mid-game battle. ViBE is going to have to rely completely on the pathogen glands and the fungal growth coming out from the infestors to give him the leg up in this battle. Again, you can see that ViBE is just falling behind in the macro. I'm not really sure why. Like, he was behind even before this third base even started. I wonder if he's just missing injects or if he's just not efficiently spending his larva. Maybe he's building roaches a bit earlier than he needs to, and so his economy isn't strong enough to back it up. Meanwhile, ViBE is pushing out with a sort of big army. He's pushing out with 19... with some of his 19 roaches. He's going to try and deny the third, but with a Spinecrawler here, as well as the roaches of Stephano, about 20 of them that are going to be ahead in the upgrade battle, +1/+1 compared to the +1 no armor of ViBE. This is not going to work out. Unfortunately, Stephano is supply capped briefly, but he has Overlords coming out, so it's not that big of a deal. ViBE looks like he's poking in the front, but he needs to get out of here. He needs to just turn tail and run, because there's no way he's going to beat this army. He's probably going to lose a couple of roaches as he runs away, but he needs to get away from here and not lose everything. That would be devastating and probably prove to be the game. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Look right here. ViBE is actually down 17 roaches, and he's only making 3 infestors. He needs to either make more infestors or somehow buffer it with more roaches, because while infestors are good, they're not going to be able to make up a 20 roach deficit. Stephano is pushing in here with all of his roaches. The infestors aren't even out right now. They just get off the first fungal, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think he's going to be able to take the third and then run, because before this infestor is able to get the fungal growth down, that's going to give Stephano an even greater lead. Even though they have equal drone numbers, Stephano is able to spread out the saturation on 3 bases, giving him an income of about maybe 33% greater than that of ViBE. This means that in the end, it's going to be Stephano's game to lose, as he has just the lead in every single aspect of this game, except for the tech. He doesn't have the infestors out. It doesn't look like he's transitioning to it. He's content to stay on just a pure Roach army, just with heavy upgrades. He's getting +2/+2, with ViBE just getting +2. He still has no Carapace upgrades. So ViBE is going to need to rely heavily on these infestors to win. He only has 3, only 2 of them have the energy for fungal growth, with another 2 coming out. Stephano is again getting burrow. This is very similar to his approach last game, with ViBE expanding to the gold, however, here to try and take a 4th base because he knows he's behind. Stephano is pushing out with his roaches. He has about a 15 roach advantage. These 5 infestors should be able to be enough to give him the edge, but you see here that a little bit of a counterattack with ZvZ trying to deny the third. I think he's going to be able to force cancel again. This is going to prove very devastating to ViBE's economy, and will he get the cancel? It looks like, wow, the hatchery is going to come in with about half health, but he manages to avoid having to cancel, which means his economy is going to be not as crippled, but Stephano is going in right now again with the counterattack. Again, look at the Overlord spread. Both players really know what's going on. Stephano is splitting up his forces. He's sending about 12 roaches to the third, while the rest of his army is just kind of chilling here, but they're going to again be able to shut down this hatchery, and it's not even going to be canceled. He's just going to be able to kill it. However, luckily, ViBE does have this new base at the gold, which means he's going to be able to still have 3 bases, but he's still 40 supply behind Stephano, with the majority of that coming from the roaches, that Stephano is just making it a much faster rate. Like, look here, ViBE has 1,400, 700 bank with, but I think this is going to be game over with Stephano splitting up a tiny amount of his forces over to the natural and taking out the natural hatchery as well. The drone count is 40 to 62 with Stephano in the lead. Stephano is up, I guess a functional base. There's no mining going on at the gold, and he's up in larva production as well, because he has 3 hatcheries compared to the only 2 of ViBE, with ViBE trying to expand to the main. To his natural third. Again, Stephano knows that ViBE is going to have to do some sort of all-in aggression. He's dropping spines like mad. He's going to just try and sort of bunk turtle up and hold off the impending push that has to be coming from ViBE, because ViBE knows that if he just continues on as is, he's going to lose. He has to sort of gamble everything right now and hope that he can destroy ViBE's economy, or at least cripple it a little bit, and then try and come back from there. But these 5 spine crawlers are going to finish. Stephano is still up on roaches by only about 5, so the infestors should make up the difference, but they still do have the upgrade advantage, +2/+2, compared to +2/+0. This battle is just going to be devastating for ViBE, as he's probably going to lose everything, especially if Stephano goes for the flank from the back, which it looks like he is. I don't think he'll be able to pin. Oh, he is. ViBE moves back in. Stephano's going to, a devastating fungal growth coming from the back, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The roaches are able to do a significant amount of damage to ViBE's army because of the +2 Carapace. They're just simply not dying to ViBE's roaches, where ViBE is down 30 roaches right now. Expect to see GG any second. Down 20 drones, down 40 roaches, down 2 bases. This game is over. Stephano is going to advance to face Ruby in the next round of championship bracket.